Hi, my name is David Henning, and I've been a financial professional since 2007. But what most people don't know is my background prior to that was in the health club industry. And I did that for a long time coming out of college because one of the things I was passionate about is helping people. And I used to love sitting down with people and helping them out with their fitness goals. And I did that till about 2007 before the financial industry, because the financial industry started to really grow and explode, and the health club industry was on a decline. There was a lot of changes and things going on. So at one point I realized, maybe I should go do what I got my degree in. So I went to college and I majored in marketing and finance with a minor in economics, and I said, you know what, time for me to put my degree to use. So in 2007, I put my resume out there, and I got hired by a large financial services firm. And all they would talk about when I got started was, David, in this industry, you need to be prepared for the baby boomers, because the baby boomers are going to be retiring in a couple years, and you're going to see the largest wealth transfer we've ever seen in this country. So I got into financial services, and I absolutely loved it because I got to help people. But this time I wasn't helping them with their health, I was helping them with their wealth. As long as I'm helping people, I'm very, very happy. And so I started on my journey in financial services, and I learned a lot. But as many of you guys know, in 2008, the market crashed. We had the whole housing bubble and all the issues that came with it. And I quickly realized that a lot of people weren't prepared for that. And a lot of people spent their whole life saving into a 401k or some other retirement plan. And very quickly in 2008, they lost half of it. So if you were 63 years old, close to retirement, and you just lost half the money you spent your whole life saving, what do? And for me, that made a tremendous impact. And I quickly learned that one part of the financial services industry, the part where all they do is money management, may not be the best solution for everybody. So I set out to learn more about other alternatives and solutions that people had available to them that may be safer for their money. And I learned a lot about insurance and insurance solutions and life insurance, retirement planning, and found that it was very, very safe for people where they weren't going to lose money, but sometimes they couldn't gain as much as maybe if they were in the market. So every single aspect of financial services has its pros and cons. But what I figured is, let me develop a strategy that can help everybody, where they can get more growth and more protection. So I set out and I started to work for myself for a while so that I could implement these strategies to help families. Well, let's fast forward a few years later, and in 2013, I was introduced to my current company, Transamerica and World Financial Group. And one of the things that attracted me was the fact that they had so many resources, so many tools available to them. So let me explain to you a little bit about the background of this company that I decided to go with. Number one, they have a parent company called Aegon. Most people have never heard of Aegon because Aegon is actually based out of the Netherlands. But they're one of the largest insurers in the world, and they're very, very powerful. And what Aegon did was they came over to the United States in 1999, and they wanted to establish a presence here. And they determined very quickly that it was difficult to establish a presence because they didn't have a name brand in this country. So as I explain everything to you today, I want you to consider three things. Okay, I'm going to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we help families. So the first thing is, if you know anybody that can benefit from the things that I discussed today, the financial concepts, the ideas, please reach out to us. We appreciate any referrals where we can help people. The second thing is, if any of these financial concepts and ideas resonate with you and they can benefit you and your family, again, please let us know. We'll be very happy to help you with a complimentary financial strategy. No cost or obligation to you. And the third thing is, a lot of us are coming out of COVID and everything that happened. We realized the importance of having many revenue streams. And we're always looking for partners that can come on board, work with us, learn what we do, and make some additional income. So if any of those things make sense to you, please let us know at the end of the presentation. So again, let's go back to Aegon for a minute. Aegon, massive company, ranked number 9 in the world as one of the most financially stable companies, came over to the United States in 1999 trying to establish a presence. Well, they found it very difficult because they weren't a household name. So what they did is they did their due diligence, their research, and they found a company called Transamerica, based out of San Francisco. So if you've ever seen some of these movies that are out now, like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Maybe Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, a lot of those movies have our building in the background. Our building is one of the 7th most recognized landmarks in the entire country. So the Transamerica building is very, very famous. Transamerica is a very well-known company. It's been around since 1904. So what Aegon did is they purchased Transamerica and brought it in underneath the Aegon umbrella. Then they went out and they purchased another company called Western Reserve Life, based out of the Northeast, who had some great solutions for people and their families. Well, they quickly realized that they had some of the best solutions to offer people, but they didn't have a big enough field force. So they purchased another company called World Financial Group, who at the time had about 12,000 licensed agents that could go out and distribute these solutions to families and help them. Well, now let's fast forward to today, where we have almost 60,000 licensed agents working with us. We are in the entire United States. We're in Canada and Puerto Rico, and we're growing rapidly right now. When COVID hit, it was an opportunity for us to expand rapidly because we adapted to the situation and we started to open up online. So we've been leveraging tools like Zoom, and we built a huge online presence. So when Transamerica came to me and they started talking to me about expansion in the state of Florida, I found it a very attractive offer because just prior to that, just a few months before that, I had sat down with several families. And remember, when I got started in financial services, what did they tell me? David, you had better be prepared for the baby boomers. So I was all excited about helping baby boomers prepare to enter retirement and helping them secure their futures and make sure all that money they saved their entire life was going to last them. But what I realized very quickly is a huge portion of our senior population was not prepared for retirement. They hadn't saved any money. And it affected me greatly. And I realized that for some people, it was really too late for me to help because if they didn't have any money for me to help them with, there was very little I could do. But what I did that day is I made a commitment to myself that I was going to go out and help as many younger people as I could so they weren't in that same situation. So one of the things that was very attractive to me was, who did Transamerica help? Because most people understand that the financial services industry is geared towards helping the affluent. Okay? They only want to take on clients that make $250,000 a year or more. Okay? People that have money that they can manage and make more money off of. But remember, I wanted to help younger people. So when I spoke with Transamerica, I asked them a very simple question. I said, do you have firm minimums on the clientele that I can take on? They said, no, David, we can help anybody. We don't care if they only have $10 a month they can save. You can work with them and help them. And I said that was incredible because that's really where my passion lies. So there are two types of families out there right now. There's family A. So family A typically makes less than $100,000 a year. And if you know, the average median income in the United States is roughly about $47,000. They typically work a job, so they're working for somebody else. So they have very little opportunity for growth or additional income. Most of them will leverage a 401k plan to save for retirement because they don't know what other alternatives may exist to them. So they put all their money into a plan that they may not understand or even know how it works. You know, most of them only own term life insurance because they don't know the different types of insurances or what's available to them. On top of that, they put all their money in the bank. And what kind of rate of return do you get from the bank? Right now, we're at historical lows on interest rates. You're lucky if you get 0 to 1%. And they don't have a financial professional working for them because the industry has created an entire stigma that we're way too expensive to work with, or we don't want to work with you if you don't make enough money. So my passion is to really help people understand what the wealthy do with their money. I want to teach you the rules of the money game. So if you look at the top 5% in this country, that top 5%, they make more than $250,000 a year. Most of them are business owners, not employees. They know how to leverage life insurance. They understand the benefits on permanent policies, on cash accumulation, tax deferral, and the tax benefits. Also, they understand legacy and how that works. Most of them will own multiple homes, because they understand how home ownership and equity builds. They also have a diversified portfolio. So you may have heard of that before. Diversification helps reduce your risk. They're debt-free because they know how crippling debt can be. The average household in the United States right now has over $9,700 in credit card debt alone. So that's very difficult to overcome. They have a financial professional because they know how much further ahead they'll be with the right advice. Everybody needs a money coach, right? And unfortunately, that's a small percentage of the population. It's only 5%. So what do I want to do? I want to teach people the rules of the money game to level the playing field. So what are the rules of the money game? We start with the 4 financial cornerstones, okay? And with the 4 financial cornerstones, we want to talk to you about protecting your family and your money. We want to talk about growing it in the most efficient way. We want to talk about safety of your money. And we want to show you how you can get some tax advantages, okay? So what are the rules of the money game? The first one that I like to talk about is a thing called the Rule of 72. Now, this is going to fascinate you, and after you learn this, you're going to want to research this and look at it. And when you go to Google and you type in Rule of 72, a picture of Albert Einstein is going to pop up on the screen. What Albert Einstein said is the Rule of 72 should really be the 8th wonder of the world. And those that understand how compound interest works will earn money, while those that don't will pay it. So let me share with you a little example. Let's just say you're 29 years old and you get a new job and you're performing fantastically and they love you at this job. So they give you a $10,000 bonus and you're all excited and you're like, you know what? I didn't need this $10 bonus. So I'm going to save it and I'm going to go down to the bank. And you go down to your local bank and you say, Mr. Banker, sir, I have $10,000 I want to deposit for my retirement. And he says, congratulations, you came in on the right day. We have a special CD offer for you. We're going to give you 1% on your money. So you're like, 1%? Okay. That may excite you, but not after I explain the Rule of 72. So what happens is you deposit that $10,000. He gives you your free toaster for opening an account that day, and you start to apply this rule. Well, the way this rule works is you take the rate of return you earn on your money, you divide it into the number 72. And it tells you how long it takes for your money to double. So you go in at age 29, deposit $10,000, 1% goes into 72 times. So it takes 72 years for your money to double. So now you realize, hey, I'm not going to be I'll be 101 years old by the time my money doubles. Doesn't sound so great now, does it? But there are other financial alternatives out there. So you could take that same $10,000 at age 29 and put it out there and maybe earn a rate of return of about 4%. Okay, at 4%, now your money doubles every 18 years. So from 29 to 47, it would double to $20,000. And then you get one more time of compounding, it would take your money to $40,000 by age 65. And what do most people think about when I say age 65? They think about retirement, right? Well, when I was in college, I was a broke college student. And I lived off of a thing called the ramen noodle diet. Okay, some of you guys may be familiar with it, where you don't have any money, so you live on ramen noodles and bologna sandwiches, right? Sometimes not even the bologna sandwich, you get a cheese sandwich. Well, guess what? If you only have $40,000 saved for retirement at age 65, you're on the ramen noodle retirement, okay? And nobody wants that. But look what happens if we just get you 6% on your money. Now your money doubles every 12 years. So from 29 to 41, it would grow to 20,000. From 41 to 53 to 40. And from 53 to 65, you now have $80,000. That's better, but still not fantastic. Okay? So now you maybe have a year's worth of income to live off of in retirement. But look what happens if we just earn you an average of 10% compounded interest. Okay? So now at 10%, it grows every 7.2 years. So from 29 to 36, from 36 to 43, from 43 to 50 to 57, 65, all those additional times of compounding. And now, if you're only 29 right now, you're most likely not going to be to full retirement age till age 72, and you'd have over $600,000. So would you rather have $80,000 at retirement, or would you rather have over $600,000? It's a significant difference in your retirement. So that's how you get your money to work for you, okay? So our job is to help you earn the better rate of return on your money and also protect it from losses. But I also shared with you that if you understand this rule, okay, but you don't apply it, it could also hurt you. So let's talk about debt for a moment. The average interest rate on a credit card right now is somewhere between 18 and 24%. Okay, so let's apply 20% to the interest you're paying on your debt. If you did 20%, do you realize your debt is doubling every 3.5 years? And if you couldn't keep up with your expenses before, how are you going to keep up with it now once you also have debt on top of it? So that's the first rule I like to talk about, is the rule of 72. The second rule I like to discuss is, how does your money grow? And basically there's three different options on the growth of your money. The first is fixed. So if you were to go to that bank, just like I shared with you a minute ago, and you open up a CD or a savings account, that's a fixed interest rate. So your money grows slowly, okay? Right now it doesn't even keep up with inflation, but your money grows slowly and safely so you don't lose any money, but you're really not getting enough growth. The second way your money grows is called variable. And this is what most people are utilizing today. This is your 401k, maybe a traditional IRA where you're invested in mutual funds or the market, okay? Or something similar to that. So here you have all that potential for return, but you also have potential for loss. So it's all about risk and reward and how aggressive you want to be in your portfolio. The third option would be like a hybrid of the two. So a fixed and variable got together, and you took the best of both worlds. That would be an indexing strategy. So with an indexing strategy, okay, you have a floor in your money, so you have protection from the losses, but you have more potential for gain. Okay, so you can mirror the market. Well, everybody's like, well, why wouldn't everybody do an indexing strategy? Well, as great as it is, you do have a floor to protect your money, but you may also have to participate in a cap, so you may not get all the gains. So whether you're very conservative, you're very aggressive, or you fall somewhere in between, very important to know which strategy is best for you. The third rule of money is also very important to know, because this could have a significant impact on how long your money lasts in retirement, because taxation can eat up a lot of your savings. And what essentially happens is the government allows you to save in three different vehicles, okay? The first is called your tax now bucket. So this would be your money market, your savings accounts, your liquid money that you probably need for emergencies and things like that. You've already paid income tax on it. You put it away. You think you're doing a good job because you're getting some growth. But unfortunately, at the end of the year, the government steps in again, gives you a 1099 INT, and you get taxed on the gains. The second bucket is your tax later bucket. This is your 401k, maybe a traditional IRA, your Social Security, your pensions, things like that. All these get put into that bucket, okay? And a lot of times you get pre-tax savings. So you're going to save some tax money now. That money's allowed to grow tax deferred, which means no taxation on it as it grows. The problem with this bucket is once you withdraw it in retirement, it's 100% taxed at whatever income tax bracket you're in at that time. And there's the third bucket. The third bucket is called tax advantaged. This may be a Roth IRA, investment grade life insurance, or municipal bonds. So here you've already paid the income tax now. Okay, it's allowed to grow tax deferred like the tax later bucket, so it grows much faster. Biggest difference with this bucket is that when you withdraw this money in retirement, it is 100% tax free. So what I like to do is show people a strategy that they can take advantage of any tax environment they're in when they reach retirement. So if I were to ask you today, do you think taxes are going to be the same? Do you think they'd go down? Or do you think they'd go up? What would you say? Well, most people think they're going to go up. But I tell them we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know for sure. So I want to give you a strategy that we can adapt to whatever tax environment we're in. So it's very important that we utilize the proper buckets for your retirement. So those are the three rules of money that we teach people about. Now I want to talk to you about the impact that losses can have on your retirement. So I mentioned the fact that I got started in financial services in 2007. Okay, roughly a few months after I got started, the market started to crash. So if you had $100,000 in the market in 2008, and the market went down on average about 50% for most people. So if you lost money back then, you would have to actually double the returns just to get even. So you had $100,000 in the market, you lost 50%, you're now at $50,000. Well, most people would say, well, if the market just returns to the same point level, I'm whole again. And that's not correct. Okay? The market has to return 100% before you become whole, because if now you're working with $50,000, market goes to the same point level, you're only at $75,000. So from 2008 to 2013, 5 years it took for the market to recover. So you finally became whole again in 2013. From 2013 to now, you probably did phenomenal in the market. But what if you never had to lose that money? How much money would you have? So how can I help you? Here I want to talk to you about the 6 steps to financial independence. So when I sit down with a client, okay, they find all these aspects to be very beneficial. The first I look at is cash flow. So with your cash flow, we look at what do you have coming in, so what is your income, versus what do you have going out, your expenses. What you have left over in between is called your discretionary income, and it's what you have to contribute towards your savings. Second thing we look at is your emergency fund. We want to make sure that you have money put away for a rainy day so that you're prepared for something major that could happen. Number 3, we can work with people on things like college savings. So if you have young kids and you want to save for college and make sure that they don't go into debt, we can help you out with that. Or we can even work with you in debt management, because like I said, debt can be crippling. We can show you the most efficient ways to get out of debt. Number 4, I want to make sure that you are properly protected. There's a lot of different insurances available to you. There's long-term care insurance. There is income replacement insurance, right? Disability coverage. There is permanent policies you can save into. There's term policies with living benefits. You have a lot of options, and it's very difficult to determine what are the right amounts and right types of coverage, and I will help you determine what it is that you need to protect your family. Number 5 is probably my favorite part of what I do, and that's wealth accumulation. This is me teaching you exactly how much money to save, to have the right amount of money when you retire on day one, and not to worry about where your money's going to come from, not to worry about running out of money and things like that. Here, you're going to get professional wealth management. You are going to get tax strategies, all the things you need to get you to where you want to go. And number 6 is super important, and that's estate preservation, making sure that everything you've worked so hard for your entire life goes to your family and not the government. All right? Because if you don't have the proper wills, trusts, beneficiary designations, things like that in place, your estate could go to probate and you could lose half of it. So very important that all these things are taken care of. And like I said, this is 100% complimentary, no charge or obligation on your part. Just let us know if that's where you'd like us to help you, and we'll be very happy to do that. The next thing I want to talk to you about is additional revenue streams. As we grow, as we expand, our office is seeing unprecedented growth, and we need some help right now. So I mentioned earlier when I got into financial services, I talked about the baby boomers and the importance of helping them with retirement. The baby boomers have had a significant impact on every industry they've ever touched. Think about the automotive industry. The whole automotive boom and decline, all impacted by the baby boomers. Think about the toy industry. All these things. So if you don't know what a baby boomer is somebody who was born between 1946 and 1965. Baby boomers, 10,000 retiring every single day now. And it's made a significant impact. But as exciting as that is, I also like to help younger people, our millennials, and people that need to learn how to save today. And there's a lot of people who need our help. So we're looking for people who may want to earn additional income or maybe change careers and enter an industry that is the number one industry in the world, and that's financial services. So when I got started, I found this to be very, very rewarding. I enjoyed it, and I felt it to be very beneficial for a lot of people. So if you remember, in the very beginning, I asked you a simple question. I said, number one, if these financial strategies and concepts I just shared with you could be beneficial for anybody you know, please contact us and let us know who we can help. The second thing was, if these financial concepts and ideas resonated with you, we'll be very happy to sit down with you and do that financial strategy we just talked about. And third, if you're looking to add additional revenue streams or add additional income to what you're currently doing, again, please reach out. We can set up an interview, talk to you, and see if it's a good fit for you to also enter this industry. So thank you for your time, and please reach out to the person that sent you here, and we'll be very happy to help you out. So again, good money decisions just make sense.